I'm scared. I predict it's going to get really fucking bad because they're beginning to open up, and the states will not follow any of the rules. They're not. They're saying the number one center for disease and infectious disease in the world is in the United States. The CV has said you need to have at least 14 days of no new cases before you can start to approach. Like, how fucking is it important right now for you to go get your nails done?
Well, I think, Frank, they're all getting paranoid about the economy, and I don't know what side of it I'm going to be on when we all go broke.
Well, I don't think we'll all go broke because the economy is perpetual, and for it to go broke, if we go back to the Great Crash in 1929, Billy, it was because they stopped. They did the same thing as they did when Bush was there. They overqualified people, right? By giving them money that they couldn't pay back, and then there was no more liquidity. You follow me? Every asset was fraudulent or was inflated, and that's why everything came to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
Except for Canada, where we are extremely ultra-conservative in the way we do our banking.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to tell you is what happened in the States in 1929 is you could buy anything on credit.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you go back and you Google, you see some of the signs, no payments for 6 months, only 13 cents a week, or like ridiculous stuff. And then nobody had no money to pay the fucking thing when it was time to pay, Bill.
Yeah.
And that's the same as the balloon mortgages, right?
You're actually seeing a lot of companies doing that right now to try and get people to buy, right? A lot of car dealerships and big purchase items are saying, you know, no money down for 3 months.
Well, they're not saying no money down. They're saying that they're going to pay the free.
Yeah. They wanted obviously people to still continue to buy things without having to put down money right now because a lot of people just don't have it.
That's right, and cash flow is a problem, but you've got to present to your banker some sales.
Listen,
not cash.
There's maybe I'm wrong, but if I was in charge, this is what I would do right now. The most important thing is for the government. The government has to get in a debt for the sake of the future and the economy. So you need to take a look at what is the cash flow, the perpetual motion of cash flow for the last 3 months. Call it 4 months, right? Let's say it's $1 trillion. And you see, Trump's already got caught. Two guys that are very close to him, that are very, very, very close to him, that are in the development business, they managed to get their hands on millions and millions of fucking dollars, right? Mm-hmm. Of small business loans. How did they do that? So you need to do things properly. You need to, so people, if they prove honestly that their cash flow and their income, let me give you a small guy, right? $1 million business, a guy who does $1 million a year in sales, right? And let's say he makes 25% gross before taxes, right? So it's $250,000. So it's like owning a pizzeria, right? He makes himself a salary and his wife, because they're all working nonstop, 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you go to a guy like that. You go to a guy like that, right? You go to a guy like that, and you say, "We're going to give you your $250,000. We're not going to give you $1 million fucking dollars of sales. We'll give you what your profit should have been, right?"
Yep.
Now you're whole again, okay? You're whole. And the business opens up without a deficit, without debts. Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got to do with every industry. Now, with a small guy, I think that certain loans you have to ask the companies, the big multinational companies that trade, to pay the money back at a minimal or nominal amount. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah. I think they're planning on getting most of it back. They're going to
No, there's a lot of subsidies. There's a lot of subsidies right now, Billy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of subsidization. But what I'm saying is, you can't give Boeing a gazillion dollars just like because they want a gazillion dollars. There has to be a method to the madness, Bill.
Yes.
If Boeing was going to do $1 trillion in sales, I'm being facetious, right, in the last 4 fucking months, and their profit was $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
Then you lend them the $1 billion long term, right? And you got to make sure that the government gets a kick. They get stock options and stuff. This is for the taxpayers who are lending the money to these fucking assholes, right?
Yep.
And that's the way you save the fucking economy. But you got to do it honestly, and you got to do it properly. And if you have fraud and people, the fucking politicians and the lobbyists taking advantage of it, you know who dies? The small guy.
Well, a lot of small businesses have already closed. You mentioned all the companies off the top of that are struggling. Big companies like Air Canada and that have already lost hundreds of millions of dollars, and everybody is trying to figure out, a timetable as far as, when you will be able to get back to business as usual. And for a lot of these companies, they'll never get back to business as usual because a lot of things are going to change once these companies...
Nothing's going to change. Once you have the vaccine, nothing's going to change. And nothing's going to change unless you have the fucking testing. Nothing's going to change. We are going to be fucked. We're going to be stupid. We're going to be bewildered. And we're not going to understand fuck all. Do you follow what I'm saying to you?
Well, you know
right now in Toronto Transit is losing hundreds of millions of dollars a month.
Yep, TTC, yep.
Because it's got perpetual expenses and overheads.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, an auditor's got to go in there and say, in the 4 months, what would you have done in revenue and what would have been your net? The government will cover your net, give it back to you as working capital. That's how you save the fucking economy. And if you don't do it, if you do it any other way, you're going to fuck it up. You're going to fucking put everybody in a hole,
Yep.
So, and the best analogy I can give you is a surgery. Person goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, listen, you got 2 clogged main arteries, so we're going to have to put stents in there, and we're going to do angioplasty. We're going to pull the fucking fat out of there, right? And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to stop eating like a fucking pig.